I'm a bit new. I figure I make a video about some Reddit posts and see if I can say something intelligent or somewhat helpful here. So let me read out first, right? So I've had social anxiety for as long as I can remember. I started university last year, and it's been absolutely awful. I didn't make any new friends, and I always avoided my housemates, which, by the way, I've done as well in the past. I probably only saw them 3 times in the 8 months I was living with them. I lost so much weight and hair from starving myself because I couldn't bring myself to go into the kitchen out of fear that someone might be there. Yeah, that's I felt this before too actually. Maybe a little less extreme, but I felt this. Now it's time to find housing for next year, and it's incredibly difficult. I didn't make any friends because I was too anxious, so I can't just ask to live with anyone I know. I've joined some. By the way, this is something I feel like a lot of people don't talk about because here's the thing: like you just hear the parts where people are like, oh, well, I just asked to live with a friend. Oh, I just asked to do this, and it worked out fine. That's what you always hear, but you never hear stuff like this, right? You never hear stuff like this. And this is a lot of people's experience. Like this is not just this person. This is a lot of people's experience, and people don't hear about this. So it's good to have it public. Like this is a real experience. So yeah, I've joined some Facebook housing groups and I've been reaching out to people, but even replying to their messages feels terrifying. Understandable. Yeah. I'm also 99% sure I failed this year due to my anxiety and depression, which my GP refused to diagnose. Without a formal diagnosis, I can't apply for exceptional circumstances. I've been having so many, I don't, it's freaking YouTube. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this word, which is the dumbest thing ever, because I don't think this subject should be penalized at all. It's a very real thing for a lot of people, myself included. But I'm just gonna say some dark thoughts just for YouTube's stupid algorithm, right? Been having many dark thoughts because I genuinely don't know what to do. My family and friends don't understand what I'm going through. My parents and siblings say I'm just being dramatic, that everyone is socially anxious, but they all manage to get by. Yet that's the thing. That's not helpful, right? That it's basically just saying suck it up. And it's making you feel bad. Like it's like you already feel terrible, and then they're just adding to the garbage. That's so not helpful. It's like, well, everybody else can do it. Why can't you? It's like, well, maybe I'm not like everybody else. How about that? Maybe I have it worse. You ever think about that? You dumb shit, right? But yeah, I'm speaking for you, OP. But I hate it. I hate it when people do that. Or like me, right? I used to be like, shit, I'm depressed now, but I was like really depressed. And and people, friends, my family, they just be like, hey, just put a smile on your face. It's like, bro, screw you. Like, how about that? Like, put a smile on this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But they don't know what it's really like. Yeah. I've been to therapy, but honestly, it hasn't helped at all. I can't even talk to my therapist about half the things because I'm too freaking anxious. Yeah. Okay. So the thing, what am I trying to do here? I guess I want to right, tell you you're not alone, and this is this stuff happens. But B, maybe tell you potentially some of the underlying stuff here. I don't know. I've only read your one post, so yeah, take it with a grain of salt. But the thing is, usually, at least in my experience, and people I've helped and worked with and stuff like that too, a lot of this anxiety is coming from a certain part of you. Now, this is always weird, right? Because I think a lot of us don't really think about it, the mind this way, or ourselves this way. But there are actually a whole ton of like different parts inside of us, and they're almost like their own people. It's almost like that movie, that animated movie with all the feelings and stuff, and they all run around. I never watched it, but right, all the feelings run around in people's brains, and whatever the frick that movie was. You know what I'm saying? I don't remember the name. I hope you know what I'm saying. Either that or I'm just rambling. But basically, there's a bunch of different parts, right? A bunch of different parts inside of us. And there's likely a certain one or two different parts, probably mostly one, that's in a constant state of fear, and it's being triggered by something. It sounds like other people. And the thing is, if you can isolate this specific part, and the way you do that is you try to connect with it, you like put the intention of connecting with it, And then you can start to visualize it. Just be like, okay, what might this part look like? What, what is it wearing? What does it look like? Maybe it's a person. Maybe it looks like a light or an object of some sort. It can show up as anything, but there's this part of you that's scared, that's anxious, right? And this specific part, it has a story, and probably something happened. That part adopted some sort of belief about itself or life or the world or people, and it keeps on playing a loop over and over and over again, right? It's on repeat. And once you can connect to that part, you can actually start working with that part. And when I say working with that part, I mean like A, understanding it, and B, maybe it needs something. Maybe this part, and think of it as a separate person. Like, because it's part of you, but it's not you, if you get what I'm saying. Like, and it's basically, you think about it as another person and you give it what it needs, or you just find out what it needs, right? You find out its story, you learn about it. What's going on with this scared, anxious part? And once you start doing that, and this will take a little bit of time, right? This won't just be like, boom, done. But you can start helping it. Maybe it needs some comfort. Maybe it needs to know that it's safe. Maybe something really terrible happened, and this is the part that carries those memories while the rest of you doesn't. There's a lot of these things that are possible, but first step is connecting with this part, and that's easier said than done. It's difficult to do alone, especially right when you're in the middle of it. But if you can work with somebody to do that, that can be really helpful. And this isn't a plug, but I do that. I'm a coach, but that's not that's not a plug. That's not the fucking point. But yeah, that's the thing. And the therapist thing, right? A lot of therapy, what therapy really focuses on is cognitive behavioral therapy. Cognitive being you talk about it, which is not very helpful in a lot of times. I'll be real. I've done 8 years of it. It's not like I haven't tried it. Yeah, I tried it a lot with a ton of different therapists. It's usually not very helpful because it just gets you to understand what's going on. It's like, okay, yeah, I'm screwed up. Great. But in my experience and the experience of a lot of people I've talked to, it doesn't actually fix anything, right? You just understand it. So, anyways, I hope that can be a little bit helpful to somebody somewhere. And yeah, that's about it.